or a block of some kind. Hello, I'm Christina and you're very welcome to this home yoga practice. I'm going to start by coming forward so we can lean forward. Before you begin, see if you can find a large hardback book, or if you've got a yoga brick or block, that would be very useful in the practice today. Sitting back, big toes together, a little space between the thighs, bringing the belly forward, forehead down into a child's pose. If it's not comfortable, come forward onto the forearms, gently interlocking the fingers, and allow the head just to release to the mat. So just picking an option that's helpful for you to find that comfortable opening posture. Forehead down if it's child's pose. Can place one forearm on top of the other and let the forehead rest on the forearms. Or use a yoga block if you wish, or a hard back book, and rest the forehead down. So just opening up through the whole of the spine, relaxing down, centering ourselves as we come into the yoga practice, quietening down the body, adjusting as you need to, calming everything down, bringing everything into your center, relaxing the breath, just releasing the shoulders and the knees and the hips. While resting, just being aware of the back of the body, particularly the spine. We're going to set that as an intention today, just being aware of the back of the body, the spine. Taking care of it, minding the back. So breathing in, reaching the arms out in front of you, sitting back as much as you can. If you are on the knees, still stretching forward. So taking the option that works best for you. Releasing the chest towards the floor. And then breathing in, walking the hands over to the right side and sitting back. So we stretch out through the left side of the waist and the ribs. If you're on the knees, still walking the hands out to the sides and leaning the hips to the left of the mat. And in both options, perhaps placing the left hand on top of the right to increase the stretch if you wish. Relaxing the pelvis as much as possible. Noticing the stretch. And then breathing in, walking hands back through center, over to the other side, to the left side. Keeping arms as wide as the shoulders and sitting back in either of your options. If you're on the knees, relaxing right hip towards right side of the mat. And if it's comfortable, placing right hand on top of left, which will increase the stretch through the side body. And then breathing in, coming back through center, lengthening the spine once more. And then coming up into a tabletop. So we're going to do a little bit of loosening through the hips. So taking one knee in front of the other, traveling up your mat, keeping going until the knee reaches the top of the mat. And then reversing it Knees behind, one at a time, as slow as you like. So rotating through the whole hip joint. Keeping going, reversing. And then coming back into center on your mat. Undoing, tucking toes under, reaching back. So just lubricating hip joints, releasing them slightly. Coming back up to center in the tabletop, breathing out. In breath, chest lifting and tailbone, out breath rounding. Synchronizing movement to the breath. In breath and out. In your cat-cow. One more. In and out. Pull the belly in, rounding the back. Breathing in, back to a neutral spine. Out breath, and then in breath, taking that right leg behind you and extending the opposite arm for 3 rounds of breath. Options to place the hand down, keep the toes tucked under, and just extend the arm. Just work with what's comfortable for you, or you can just keep the leg up behind you, or extend the arm as you wish. So 2 more rounds of breath. Breathing in and out being 1 round, and a final round in and out. And release. So setting up for the other side. Left leg back. Right arm in front. Modifying if you wish. Hand down, toes tucked under. Arm out if you wish. Or leg up, arm out. Breathing in and out. 2 more rounds of breath. Look up at the hand if you wish, or look down. Pull the belly in. 1 more round. And then releasing, toes tucked under. And a nice stretch again through the whole of the back. Opening up the shoulders. Toes tucked under. Just breathing in and out with even breath. And breathing in, coming up into your tabletop, breathing out. Keeping the toes tucked under. In breath, forward, out breath, downward facing dog. Stretching back to lengthen the whole of the spine. Keeping the feet hip distance apart. With the right arm on the left. Look at the belly and then just relax the whole head down. So lengthening out the whole of the spine from the tailbone to the crown of the head is the purpose of downward facing dog. So drawing the pelvis up and back, weight towards the heels. And then release one heel, the right heel, a little bit towards the floor by bending the left knee. It does not have to touch. Stretching through the back, the lower part, that right leg. Then bending in the right knee and releasing the left heel towards the mat. And again, does not have to touch the mat. Try and keep the belly pulling in a little bit too. And then bend both knees and really reach back into your downward facing dog. Pressing hands into the mat. And looking between the hands, start to walk the feet in. A good bend in the knees to protect the low back. Line up the fingertips and the toes. Press through the feet as you breathe in, rising up the whole way and breathing out. So coming into a forward bend, breathe out, squat down, hinge forward, folding belly forward, resting hands somewhere on the legs, and as you breathe out, pressing into the feet, raise the glutes to the ceiling, allowing the head to hang, the crown of the head facing down. And then shift your body weight forward so the toes are gripping. Breathing out, folding, gently drawing on the hands to take the chest down. And just feeling a nice stretch through the back of the legs. Rounding and opening through the spine in the forward bend. And if you wish, introducing the arms, so interlocking thumbs behind you. And reaching the arms overhead towards the front of the mat. Draw the shoulders a little bit away from the ears, opening the chest. Using your in-breath to press down through the feet and reach the arms overhead. Out-breath to continue in your fold. Optional arms. Breathing in and out as evenly as you can through in-breath and out-breath. And then bring the hands back towards the hips. Bend the knees a little bit more. Breathe in, lift the chest, squeeze the glutes, coming the whole way up and breathing out. Take an in-breath, reach up and out-breath, hands down. And again, palms up and breathe out, down. One more time, in and out. And then take the arms in front, breathe in, breathe out, elbows back. Open the chest and the upper back. Breathe in, elbows move back and out. Draw the shoulder blades together as the elbows move back. Opening the chest, one more, and out. And then standing into Tadasana, the mountain pose. So just tucking the tailbone under by gently squeezing the glutes. So we have a neutral pelvis and there's less compression in the low back. Breathe in, lengthen up. Breathe out, release the shoulders. So just take an in-breath and an out-breath and just squat. So coming into a chair pose. Weight in the heels, keeping the tailbone tucked under, protecting the back. Shoulder blades back and down. Holding the elbows if you can. Breathing in and breathing out. A little bit more of a squat if you can. Good. Using the in-breath to keep the chest lifted, out-breath sitting into it. And then gently breathe in, arms out, coming the whole way up, breathing out. In-breath, reach, out-breath, down. And one more, up and down. And then if you have a block or your hard back book, place it behind you. So you can imagine you might be sitting on it. So I'm just going to squat back, sit on the block for a moment. You don't have to come down the whole way. We're using it as a guide. So we're going to do some squatting. So rather than bending through the lower back, start to engage the glutes and the legs to strengthen them up so they do a little bit more work. Breathe in, breathe out, and squat. And just adjust your block if you need to. Breathe in, breathe out, squat down. Breathe in, arms out, squeeze the glutes. Breathe out to lower. You don't have to come the whole way down. Breathe in, breathe out, just lower to where you feel comfortable. Breathing in as you come up, breathing out, sitting in. In, and out. In, squeeze, out. In, squeezing, out. In breath, out breath. In, just 2 more, out. In, out. In, out. Breathe in, coming the whole way up, arms up and down. Moving the block or your book to one side, coming into our sun salutation, standing at the front of the mat, finding Tadasana, mountain pose, hands in prayer. Breathe in, breathe out, and again, breathing in, breathing out. So working on vinyasa, a flow sequence, following the breath as you hear it. Breathe in, breathe out, fold. In breath, left leg back, breathe out. In breath, looking up, out breath, forward. In breath, to plank. Out breath, lowering the knees. In breath, bringing the chest through to a cobra, breathing out. Breathe in, tucking the toes, move the hands back a bit. Out breath, dog. And lengthen back, bending the knees. Look between the hands, take a big breath in. Bring the left foot back forward. Breathe out. In breath, turn the palms, open the chest. Out breath. In breath, the leg is alongside, breathing out. And then breathe in, coming up, and breathe out. So side 2. In breath, out breath, fold, bend the knees to protect the back. Right leg back in a low lunge. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out, forward. Into plank, the knees can be up or down. Out breath, lower. In, come through to cobra, breathe out. Breathe in to tuck the toes, move the hands back. Out breath, dog. Stretching and lengthening the spine. Look between the hands, big breath in. Right foot forward, help it if you need to. Breathe out. Breathe in, opening the chest. Breathe out, forward. Breathe in, left leg alongside. Breathing out. And then breathe in, rise up, and breathe out. And just take 2 rounds of breath. An inhalation and an exhalation is 1 round. 1 more. Breathing in, lengthen up through the spine. And as you breathe out, relax the shoulder blades down the back. And just be aware of the heart rate. Sun salutations energize and warm the body. Hands on the hips. Look at the left leg and step it back behind you, turning the toes in. So a little bit towards the front left corner of your mat. Hands on the hips, drawing the hip bones to face the front of the mat. Breathe in, breathe out, hinge from the top of the thigh. And rest the hands somewhere on the legs, lengthening the spine so we have a flat back rather than rounding. In breath, lead with the chest, moving out. And draw that right hip back a bit to keep the pelvis level. Breathing in and breathing out. So lengthening the spine forward, sending the tailbone back. So 2 lines of energy, tailbone back, chest moving forward. Breathing in, breathing out. Pressing the big toe into the mat. And then placing the hands on the hips. Breathe in, come up. Take the arms behind you and interlock gently holding the elbows, or bring the hands into a prayer position behind you, picking your option, chest lifted, breathing out and fold again. Going to keep the shoulders back, looking down at the big toe. Again, elbows, holding gently is an option. Breathing. Keep drawing the right hip back. And then place the hands on the hips. If you wish, right arm out and left. So working a little bit through the core, breathing in and out. Taking your option, you might wish to keep one hand on the hip or both. In and out with your breath. And then hands on the hips, breathe in, bend the knee. Turn onto the back toes, lower that left knee. Take your block or your book on the right side, untuck the back toes, and straighten that front leading leg. Breathing in, lifting the chest, breathing out, folding. And place the hand on the block to help steady you or your book. Nice straight spine, aware of the back of the body, coming back to your intention. And there may be a bend in the knee as long as you're feeling the stretch. And you're drawing your right hip back. Breathing in, breathing out, lengthening the spine forward, shoulder blades back. Just enjoying the stretch. And then breathe in, rebend the front knee, bring the block over to the other side. Fingertips line up with the toes, tuck the toes under on the back leg, lift up. Out breath, back to your dog, stretch back and walk your dog, bending one knee, then the other, keeping length in the spine, stretching back. You breathe in, taking the left leg up in the air for a three-legged dog. Draw the knee into the chest. So just a little bit of core work. Breathing in and out. In and out. And then bring it up alongside the left hand. Come up, walking the back foot in. A little bit if you wish. The whole way, use a bit of balance. Breathe in, lift the chest, and breathe out. In breath, lengthen up. Out breath, hinge. So other side, lengthening the spine. Resting the hands somewhere on the legs, making sure the back foot's turned out at an angle towards that front right corner of your mat, because we've got the left leg leading. And if the front leg needs to move out a bit to the left side for a wider base, do so. Breathe in, breathing out. Keep the shoulders relaxed, draw the left hip back, root through the feet. Chest moving forward. With the left hip back, breathe. Then gently soften that front knee to come up. Holding the elbows or hands in the prayer position, depending on what's happening with the wrists behind you. Once again, hinging forward on the top of the thigh. So taking your options, drawing the shoulder blades together. Remember our intention, it's the back of the body, west of the body as we call it. Breathing. So steady balance, some strength work and some stretching. And then hands on the hips, and maybe one arm comes out, and then the other, rooting backwards with the left hip, or one hand's on the hip. You keep both hands on the hips, picking your option. A flat back as much as possible, keeping the chest lifted, belly pulled in. And then gently breathe in to bend the front knee, turn onto the back toes, and lower the leg. Bring your hand onto the block, On the left side, walk the fingers back. Straighten out the leg as much as you comfortably can. Breathing in, lift the chest up. And breathe out, hinging, drawing left hip back. You can untuck the toes if you wish. Try to keep the hip in line with the knee. And the block can be on a high side, or if you've got your book, the taller side, breathing in. And try and pull the toes forward a little bit, breathing out, hinge forward. Just enjoying the stretch to where it feels comfortable for you. Aware of the shoulder blades moving back. One more round of breath. And then breathe in, re-bend the front knee. Hands are either side, fingertips lined up with the toes. Tuck the back foot under. Take an out breath and stretch back into your dog. So really lengthen back as much as you can. Keep the head relaxed, gaze point is between the feet. And then breathing in, looking ahead, and as you breathe out, you can walk the feet forward. Or you can breathe in and on the out breath, jump the feet forward. Breathe in, lengthen, breathe out, and once again fold. So a lot of stretch happening in the backs of the legs. Rooting through the feet, and then bend the knees to keep the back safe. Breathe in, arms up, and breathe out. Release. Standing into Tadasana mountain pose, breathe in, elbows back, opening the chest again. 2 more, up, elbows back, shoulder blades together. 1 more, and back. And then taking the block or your book, put it on the right side of your mat, if you can. Hands are on the hips, a little bit of balance work. So step back, legs nice and wide. Bring the hips to the front of your mat and turn the waist. So to come into a Virabhadrasana 3, which is a warrior. So strengthening the legs, a little bit of balance, and lengthening through the spine. So you bend the front knee, shifting the weight forward. Blocks about 12 inches in front of you on the right side of the foot. You can have your block or book on any side you wish. Breathing in, kicking up. So trying to flatten out the back and balance as much as you can. Less weight on the block. Perhaps bring the hands into prayer. It's up to you. Or release hands to the block and keep the other hand on the hip. Breathing in and out, keeping it as light as you can. And then gently releasing down, lowering the knee, breathing in and out, stretching back to dog. And doing the other side, breathing in, left leg up, breathing out. Do core work, draw the knee into the chest. Breathing in and out. Bring it forward. Come up. Move the block to the other side. Coming up for a moment. Take an in-breath and an out-breath. Bending the front knee. Placing the hand on the block, other hand on the hip or on the floor, picking up into your warrior 3. Keeping the hand on the hip, high side of the block or your book, lengthening up. Try to lighten the weight of the hand on the block. And then gently bending, coming down, lowering the knee. Hands are either side. Take an out breath Stretch back into your dog. And breathe in, come forward into plank. Lower the knees if you need to. Keep the chest moving forward, lining up the shoulders, the wrists. And then all coming down onto the knees and sitting back. Lengthening the spine once more. Being aware of the shoulders, the shoulder blades, the back of the body. And breathing in, coming up. Once again, finding your plank. Breathe in right knee into chest. Breathe out away. In left knee, out. Or option, in, out. In, out, and down. In, out, and down. So taking your option, in, out. In, out. In, out. In, out. In, out. Last one. In, out. Knees down. Coming forward. And finding Sphinx pose. So elbows underneath shoulders. Lifting the chest by pressing the forearms down and back into the mat. Keep the chin tucked in and relax the shoulders. Breathe. So an upper back bend of the spine, opening across the chest. Try and stretch the front of the belly, reach the legs away. Press the pubic bone down a little bit and engage the glutes. Do a little bit more lift. Sending the chest forward so we're not compressing the low back. And then breathe in and breathe out, turning the head to the right. And breathe into center, breathe out to the left. Into center, out to the right. Into center, out to the left. And into center, breathing out. Try and relax the shoulder blades down the back as much as you can. So working the back muscles to help keep the spine strong. So lifting the legs and the arms into Shavasana. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, keep the chin tucked in so there's no compression in the neck. Breathing in and out and releasing back into your Sphinx. Relax the shoulder blades again down towards the waist. Keep the tailbone tucking under, lifting the chest. Breathing in and out. So this time, option to reach the arms in front and the legs behind. Breathing in, out breath, elbows bend, legs out. In, out, like we're swimming. In, out. In, out. In breath, out breath. In breath, out breath. Two more. In, out. Last one, out. And then rest in a crocodile. So forehead down on the forearms. Relax through the back. Even out the breath. And just notice the heart rate. And then coming back up onto the mat, back into the Sphinx. Take the left forearm parallel to the front of the mat. Bend up the right knee and roll onto the left hip so you can hold the foot or the ankle, coming back round for a stretch through the thigh and the hip flexor. Breathing in, keeping the chest lifted. Breathing out, pressing the foot into the hand. If this isn't too comfortable, you can lie on your side and do the same thing. So still pressing foot into the hand, squeezing the glutes so you get the stretch. Doing what's comfortable for you. And then releasing back down and switching to the other side, keeping the elbow lined up with the shoulder because it's still an upper back bend. Other side, bending the knee. Twisting, holding the foot, bringing it back round and stretching. Or rolling onto the right side, taking the foot behind you, squeezing the glutes, getting the stretch in the front of the thigh. So picking the most comfortable modification for you so you feel the stretch. And then releasing. So options, staying in the Sphinx for the upper back bend, coming into Shalabhasana, or coming into wheel and lifting. 2 rounds of breath, picking your option, breathing in and out, in and out, and then gently release, tucking toes under, out breath, sitting back, just lengthen through the whole of the spine, releasing the chest towards the mat. Sending the tailbone back. Try not to drop the head to the mat. And then breathing in, coming up into a tabletop and sliding the right knee forward, walking the right foot out to the side of the mat as much as is comfortable. This is a hinge joint, so just not taking the foot out too much to the side so it's uncomfortable on the knee. And if necessary, using your book or your block to prop underneath the back of the thigh, walk the back leg away, so pigeon pose. So if you are inclined to collapse to one side, that's when you can use your book or block. Lifting up tall, pressing the hands into the mat, relaxing the upper back. Breathe in, pressing forward in the hands to come onto the forearms if it's comfortable. So Sphinx arms. And we're looking for a stretch here through the glutes. More stretch, you may wish to take the hands in front and lengthen forward. So taking the modification that works for you. As long as you're feeling the stretch, that's the most important thing. Try not to collapse through the whole body. There's always tone in the body in practice. Your hands may be here in your pigeon pose, picking your option. Aware of the back of the body, minding it. And gently, wherever you are, walking the hands back in, lifting up the knee and switching to the other side. So drawing the knee forward, letting the foot move out to the side, but again protecting this knee. Tucking the toes under on the back leg, walking it away to get lots of stretch through the hip flexor and sitting into it. And using the block on the other side, so we don't roll to one side. Hands up in your pigeon pose. So pressing the hands into the mat, chest lifted. Breathing in, still pressing the hands in the mat to help lengthen the spine. And then coming into Sphinx if it's comfortable. Aware of the stretch in that left side of the glutes. And if you wish, reaching the arms right out in front. Just not dropping the head to the floor. Keep the ears in line with the upper arms. So getting the most out of your stretch with safe alignment. Shoulders back, chin tucked in. Gaze perhaps just to the front of the mat, depending on where you are. And relax into your pigeon pose. And then coming back, untuck, and a nice stretch back into downward facing dog. And again, lifting up the buttocks nice and high. And then breathing in, coming forward, finding plank with your knees up or down, just working through the core a little bit. Coming onto the knees, walking them forward. Opening out the front of the body, fingertips behind, and you can use your yoga block or your book if you wish. Breathing in and out, opening the shoulders. Lots of internal rotation every day, so it's nice to do counter poses. Breathing in, squeeze, more stretch, breathing out. Or, as always, an option, coming up onto the knees, hands resting at the low back, breathe in and out, and lean, squeezing the glutes, lifting the hip bones up to the ribs, breathing in and out. Come into a Z shape if you wish, so these are just options. You can have the palms up or palms facing, leaning back as much as is comfortable. And then gently releasing and coming down, just rolling to one side, taking the legs out in front, bringing soles of feet together, Baddha Konasana. So sitting up nice and tall, it's a cobbler pose. Breathing in, hinging from the top of the thigh, and releasing inner thigh. So relaxing the knees as much as you can. In breath, sitting up tall, out breath for your fold. Leading with the chest. And gently breathing in, coming the whole way up. And taking one more stretch through the side body. So sitting up nice and tall with the legs out and stretching up through this side of the body. So breathe in, breathe out and lean towards one leg. A hand may rest on top or underneath the leg. Turn the shoulder in and the chest up to the ceiling till you feel a little bit of work and stretch. And for more work, you can add the arm. Don't have to, you can keep it down. It's up to you. So breathing in and across. Breathing in and across. So just till you feel the stretch, you're moving the whole way. Breathe in, lengthen, and a gentle twist with the chest. And then breathe in, coming up, and breathing out. Keeping the toes moving forward to the knees, so we've got active legs and a strong foundation. So switching to the other side, leaning, hand underneath, and you have soft knees if you wish. Turning the chest up, breathing in, lengthening the spine, breathing out, releasing. Arm up, if you'd like to add a little bit more stretch. So check where you would like it to be till you feel the stretch. Can hold the foot if you wish, either side. Breathe in, breathing out. Breathing in to lengthen, breathing out, turn. So picking your option, finding the stretch. The hand may be here. Lengthening the chest, forward. Softening into it with each out breath. And then breathing in, coming the whole way up. And bring the legs together. Rolling down onto the back, hugging the knees into the chest. It's a nice way to ease out the low back and massaging the low back. So knees in and knees out in a clockwise motion. Breathe in as the knees come towards you. Breathing out as they move away. And then switch to an anti-clockwise motion. Knees in as you breathe in, knees out as you breathe out. And then gently just hug knees into the chest. Cross the right thigh over the left for a spinal twist, lying down. So ensure you've got space to do so. Palms face up and allow the legs to move all the way to the left side, keeping the belly and the chest facing up. The arms are in the T-shape in line with the shoulders. And if the stretch or the twist feels too much, just undo the legs. And relax into your twist. You can place the left hand on top of the outer thigh to help you draw across a little bit further to the left if you'd like more stretch. And if there are no neck issues, you can turn the head to the left. A bit of extra stretch through the neck and shoulder on the right side. And simply relax into it. Check where you're feeling the stretch. On the right side of the front of the shoulder and the chest, around the back towards the hip. And release as much as you can, softening. Adjusting if you need to in your practice. And then drawing knees back into the chest gently, a gentle hug in, and then over to the other side. So the left thigh crosses over the right. Arms are in a T-shape, palms face up. Let the legs release to the right. So you feel that nice stretch through the hip, and the back, and the left shoulder and chest at the front. Undoing if it's too much. Use the right hand if you want to move the thigh across. And the legs may be not quite together, which is absolutely fine. Just stretch to where you feel comfortable. And minding the neck, you may wish to turn the head to the right. And if it's not comfortable, turning the head back to center. Allowing the whole body to release itself in the spinal twist. And we're letting go of any breath practice now, so just allow the body to breathe comfortably. And then drawing knees, using the belly muscles back into the chest for a final hug. Knees in, and then straightening the legs out on the floor as we come into Shavasana, that final resting posture. So adjust everything so you are comfortable on the mat, palms face up, shoulder blades down the back and chin tucked in. Relax the legs and the feet. And coming into your final resting posture. Most important one of all, to allow you to receive the benefits of the practice today. Be aware of the back of the body resting on the mat. Particularly the tailbone, the mid back and upper back. resting comfortably, quietly for the next few moments. And if you wish, while you're resting calmly, place one hand on the chest and the other on the belly, so you're connecting to your own relaxed breathing. So feel the rise and fall of your own breath moving in and out of the body. And perhaps notice after the in-breath the rise of the belly and the chest. There's a pause before the out-breath comes, the breath leaves the body. And then there's another pause. Just feeling that in the movement of the breath in the body. Not changing the breath, let it come and go. Just breathing in normally. Noticing a pause before the out-breath comes. And then another pause after the out-breath. So those moments of quiet, aware that there are 4 parts to the breath. Breath coming in, pause, breath leaving, and another pause. So aware of the rhythm of the breath. Now gently breathing in, reach the arms behind you, just stretch out the whole of the body. Breathing out, bring the arms back down to the sides. Just bend up the knees and roll carefully with the eyes closed if you can, onto right side of the body, just resting for a moment. And thanking yourself for taking part in the practice and for looking after your own well-being. Aware of the calmness you've created in yourself through the practice. And very gently coming back up to a seated position, comfortable for you, placing one palm on top of the other, the thumbs touching, resting them down, just tucking the chin in, bowing it slightly, closing the eyes, a sign of respect and reverence for your own practice. And meditating for a moment or two. So letting ourselves be sitting here quietly. And perhaps noticing your own breath. Looking for those pauses. Feeling them in the rise and fall of your own breath. Then breathing in deeply, lengthening up through the whole of the spine and breathing out, releasing the shoulders. And once again, breathing in, lifting the chest and breathing out, releasing shoulders. And very gently opening the eyes as we close the practice. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste.